One of the interesting things is the students have really accepted it and welcomed it to the point where they've given it a name, and it's now officially called the Minecraft building.
Hamilton Hayes Henderson architects have been college architects for Emmanuel College for 20 years next year, over which time we've done, I counted recently, 32 projects. And actually, out of interest, looked to try and see how many buildings there we haven't worked on, and it's currently 4.
We wanted to move the Year 7 centre across, build a new one in the senior school, and also to create a hub.
They very much were looking, in this particular case, they were looking to this building to almost redefine the brand of the school. It's a fairly significant building, particularly from Birmingham Road, and that was part of the design brief. The new headmaster was keen to use this because it fronts the road. The scale of the projects occurs in part because of the topography of the site. It's like many schools down here on the Gold Coast. There's a lot of low-lying flood-prone land, which is all the sporting fields effectively, and so there's an undercroft to the building which is used as a play space and locker space. The building's actually been designed in 2 stages, so what you see now is stage 1, so there's a fan-shaped building and classrooms that wrap around one side, and there's a second wing to be built on the other side where the current hospitality building is. So there's been quite a lot of thought given not just to how this building will look, but how it will look in the context of the broader development over, I guess, the next decade.
We worked with Carl at Wobby quite a bit on that and choosing what we wanted. We knew it was going to be about 7 metres high, so it was quite a long span, and we had to work out exactly where our mullions were going to fit because we didn't want to impede the view at all. It's a magical space up there.
Quite a bit of coordination there, wasn't there? Because you're almost doing what you shouldn't do in the sense of having this very large glazed expanse facing west, so that's why you'll see there are very large fins on the outside of those windows to break them up. So then of course it became critical that the mullions of the windows married together with all of that, and then the windows themselves have got 2 layers of solar control blinds.
We'd worked with the head of senior school for a number of years, just developing exactly what he wanted. Worked out that we'd really like to pair up the classrooms. So we went with the option of using sliding glass doors. They just fold back out and this allows the classrooms to flow in together. I think it's always good to give the students the opportunity to have a link with outside, and so we've consciously put a little pop-out windows in on the oval side so the students can actually go and sit in them and just take a little time out. And they're a fun thing. I just love to have a little bit of fun with the architecture.
I always think with schools, the spaces between the buildings are really important. My favourite bit is actually the interstitial space between the 2 buildings, where you've got all the circulation happening and these fairly dramatic stair forms, with their detailed timber battening, and it's just a really nice space to move through.
I enjoy it because of what the school is trying to achieve. They're trying to achieve something that is of benefit to the students, and it's a process, and that's always the focus, and I guess that's why I enjoy that type of project.
Winston Churchill famously said once that we shape our buildings and thereafter our buildings shape us. He was talking about the Houses of Parliament and democracy. But the same thing's true, I think, of architecture generally, and very much of educational architecture in particular. If you've got light and bright and welcoming spaces, children are going to enjoy coming to school. Actually, one of the interesting things with the Bonner building was just when it was finished, there was a new parent day to do tours of the school, and several students were heard to say, "Oh, I hope we get into this building." Yeah, so they do a walk through the building and they appreciated the spaces and they could see it was going to be a really pleasant place to be, which I think is terrific.